Hello everybody! Today we're going to see how I draw Vision. Okay, pencils first and then Sharpies. So if you don't want to watch the pencil portion of the video where I sketch the entire thing out, look in the description and you'll find a link that you can click on that will take you to the Sharpie portion of the video. I'll even include one for color. But for those of you that are going to stick around, I'm going to start off with a quick sketch for myself and get us going. Okay, so I'm going to do something a little different here. I've got to space it out correctly. He's going to be... I'm at a loss for words. I was going to say visioning, but no, he's going to be, what do you call it? Phasing through the wall. That's what I was going for. Phasing. And to do that, we're going to imagine if his leg it gets cut off because it's going through. That's the part that's getting cut through. It's hard to explain, but you'll see in the drawing. But basically, we're just kind of playing around with floating shapes. But I am doing anatomy, so I can get it correctly. The easy thing about Vision is he's mostly anatomy. You know, his costume is pretty much just, you know, skin tight body build, you know, and then the color is what gives it the definition. So there's not too much we're really going to be doing besides drawing human anatomy. Well, except for his crotch area, obviously not human anatomy because it is a suit. But basically what I'm trying to say is we're going to be basically drawing a body shape for his suit. Pretty simple. Alright. You know, there's a lot of stuff I want to say. I guess I can talk about it now, but unfortunately not a lot of people watch these, but I'll do these talks a few different times. Feel free to like and don't like this stuff because it doesn't upset me. I mean, everybody gets their opinion and I'm okay with that. Even if you don't like something for real, don't like it, it's okay with me. I don't care. But the point is, what I'm trying to say is it tells me what you like and what you don't like what's working, I guess is what I'm trying to say. Because if you know, if I'm doing a whole bunch of let's just say I'm drawing nothing but pineapples, you know, feel free to hit no and say you don't like it because, let me see a hand real fast, let me look in the mirror. Because it's a good gauge to tell me what's working and what's not. That's what I'm trying to say. So feel free to, you know, like and don't like stuff. You're not going to hurt my feelings. I had one young gentleman, or gentlewoman, I really don't know, say they accidentally hit the I guess dislike button, and that's fine. It's okay, even if you don't. Like I said, it's what happens. It comes with the territory. You know, honestly, I'm gonna get people that don't like what I do, and I gotta be able to deal with that. But I'm okay with it. I'm happy with everybody having their opinion. So anyway, what I'm trying to say is, it's a good way for me to gauge what's working and what's not. So go for it. Okay, so right now anatomy is working pretty good for me. I like the way it's gonna play out. So I'm just gonna add some extra little detail here. And I always tell everybody this whenever you're sketching: get your anatomy down first, make sure your pose is gonna work, and then you can work on the detail. Which actually, now that I think about it, wait, I'm not done, right? I gotta finish this arm. Let's put him in like a vision pose. Vision pose, vision pose. Gonna put him in a vision pose. I don't know what that exactly means, but it lets me sing a song. Not everybody here has watched everything, but at one point I was talking about starting a band or singing songs, and I had a name for it, like How I Sing or something like that. They're horrible songs. And I was just trying to remember that right now. I was like, what was that? What was I was gonna call it, but it was something funny like How I Draw. But I don't remember right now. sing it anyway. Vision pose, vision pose. Gonna sing a song about a vision pose. All right. Okay, I think that's gonna work. Yeah, there you go. So let me, like I was talking about, let me add some extras, some details, like his cape. And then we'll get going with the drawing, because again, this is pretty much anatomy. That's the thing. That's all we gotta worry about with him. And then color. Color will take care of the rest. Let's see, let's do some crazy, some kind of crazy, like almost like a flag. Furling? Yeah. Wait, yeah. Billowing, that's the word I'm looking for. A flag billowing in the wind. That's what I'm going for this time. Not flying down, just a billowing cape. Like that. Alright, there we go. I like that. That way I put the cape mostly on this side because he's phasing through on this side. I think that's great. I think it's time to get going. Let me erase some of this because I just need the sketches, or the confidence sketches, and not so much the pencil sketch, because I want on my drawing, I want the Sharpie to stand out and not the ooh, you know what I didn't do? I didn't give him a face. Let me do that real quick. I'm so ready and excited. Let me do that before we do anything, and then we're going to welcome everybody to the Sharpie portions. Let me give him a face real fast. I realized I didn't do that, so that's the middle like that. I put his eye right there. Put another one right there. He's got to have the Mind Stone, right? Sorry, I'll go quiet. Sometimes when I concentrate too much, I go quiet. Let's see, let's give him a nose vision pose. Sorry, I'll stop. Let's see. He does have some features that kind of stand out to make him vision. Oh, and also I talked about this a lot too in other videos, that this is MCU vision. This is not. I do a lot of movie heroes. That's what I do. Yeah, I think that'll work. Perfect. All right. So again, let me erase just a little bit. I want it to disappear, so when I go over with the Sharpie stands out and not the pencil sketch. But I do need some of the pencil sketch to guide me. So I'm just going to hit it with my kneaded eraser just a little bit, just to kind of tack it up, or pick it up. My ticky-tack. And that's good. That's great. Okay, so welcome, skippers. Welcome to the Sharpie portion of the video. Don't forget to like and subscribe because I do a different drawing every day. I'm going to be using the Sharpie fine point and the Sharpie pen, mostly the fine point, but depends a little finer than the fine point and can find things that the fine point can't quite find. I've sketched the entire thing out. I've erased a majority of it, so I just have a faint ghost of an image that I can trace over and use my Sharpies, or to use to guide my Sharpies. So I'm going to start off with the Sharpie pen. You can use whatever you like. This is a very fine point Sharpie that I use for tiny details like the face. And also, to give you a heads up, he's going to be phasing through the wall, so some of his parts aren't going to be there, mostly the left side. I know that's the right part of the video, but his left body, I guess is what I'm trying to say. His left arm, left leg, there we go. So let's get started with his face, and I'm going to draw the eyes like I do, just to make sure I've got them parallel. You know, you don't want one high, one low. So I just want to see if this is where we are. If this works, we're going to go from here. So I'm going to start with his eyelids, the top part first, just like this. Perfect. That's a good level. Now, this drawing is so tiny, even though this is a fine point Sharpie, I can only get so many details in there. So I'm going to draw some iris, like this. But I'm not going to draw the bottom of the eye because it's going to bleed into it too much. I will give him a little bit of a boop for a pupil. Try to get it in the center. That one's a little off, but that's okay. That's what happens. That's where we are. So now I'm going to give him some detail in the face. So I'm going to come in just a little bit for the eye, just like that. We're going to imply the bottom, like this. Oops, see, that one didn't quite hit it, but that's okay. That's where we're going to go. I'm going to go with that. I'm going to give him an eyebrow, like this. Ooh, it's kind of a stern, angry eyebrow. Didn't mean to do that, but that's where he's going to go. Okay, and so for his nose, since we don't have hard edges, I'm going to imply a few lines and kind of play around with inking techniques to give him the bridge of his nose. So I'm going to go ahead and draw this side a little bit, just a little bit, like that. And that's going to give us at least that part of the nose. Now, for the center, I'm just going to kind of come around here, draw the nostril, draw the bulb, and up like that. That's all I can really do because of how tiny this is. So let's build off of this. So I'm going to draw his mouth directly underneath. Very somber, very stoic vision, you know, not too he's not smiling is what I'm trying to say. I don't have the words today. I never have words though, I always say that. I'm not going to add all the tech detail into his face because I think that should be done with color, but I will add to the bottom of his lip just a little bit like this, just to define a little bit, and also some of his detail that is there, like the Mind Stone and his chin piece, like this. Okay? And also this will help define some edges for us. So, my hand's a little sweaty. I'm going to use this so I don't sweat all over the paper. I'm going to draw his chin to the side of his face here. So there's his chin, his jawline to the side of his head. We're going to do pretty much the same thing here. And I'm going to start to thicken this up too, because this Sharpie is super fat and the lines are going to really stand out. So I'm trying to match what's about to happen. You don't have to do that with your drawing. I just know what's going to happen with these Sharpies, and I want it to look a certain way. So if you're working with pencil, you don't worry about it. You just keep going. Okay, for his ear, I'm just going to draw a little bump like that, because he doesn't really have an ear, right? He's got just that little cup holder, you know, it cups over his ear is what I'm trying to say. Okay, I'm not making sense. I'm going to keep going. Ooh, I know what I can do with the side of his head. Hang on, we'll do this in a second. So I'm going to draw the back of his head up like this. And again, I'm drawing my sketch, so I'm not just drawing willy or nilly. I'm kind of following what my sketch did. So that's why I'm drawing the shape of his head based on what I sketched out earlier. Okay. All right, a little bumpy, a little lumpy there. So I'll see if I can straighten that out and thicken it up like I was talking about. And that's kind of the nice thing about thickening it up too, is you kind of hide some mistakes. But that's okay, because we also got to learn to live with our mistakes, right? Okay, so let's draw the little gemstone here. We're going to draw a little shape, just to give them the look of it. And then I'm going to draw like a little bit of a detail like this. I'm going to do another one for the side of his head. Oh, let's do one down like this. Another one for the side of his head, kind of the shape of the design of the costume. Come in for the cheekbones a little bit like that. We'll do the same thing over here. You can see a little bit like this. A little bit for his cheekbone to come down. And that's all I'm going to do. Like I said, there's a lot more that color can do. Here, let's do that and that. And that'll kind of give him a little human feature too. There's a lot more that color can do, but we're not going to do that because Or not. We're not going to use a Sharpie on it because, again, color can do that. Color will make it look pretty. So now we're just basically going to draw his suit. So I'm going to draw his neck down like this, and see how thick that is? That's what I was trying to get ready for what it's about to look like. And here we go. So I'm going to draw his neck down to his collar piece like that. I will give him just a little bit of like musculature like this, just to, again, to make him human, you know, make him more than just a costume. Even though that's all it is, it's a costume on a skin-tight costume. Let's see, so for his cape, I'm going to start in the middle right here and come over and do like this, because it's kind of got this, you know, mech look to it. And it's got a little bit of spectacular details, what we're going to call it. Okay. Something like this. It comes down in there like that. And let's do this for the... No. Okay, I'm going to add some detail in a second. I just want to add... There's the edge of the cape. Come in. We're going to do the same thing over here, kind of. At a different angle. Because he's kind of, you know, off a little bit. And then we're going to come in and do a little bit of mech work. Because he's got this certain look to his costume. And let me use the smaller Sharpie here just to get some fine detail, just to, you know, kind of play around with that look. But again, I think color should take care of a lot of this, you know. The nice thing I like to do is do some highlights with a finer point Sharpie, because it kind of accents and complements each other for something like that. That thick versus thin looks really good with a thick versus thin Sharpie to complement the thick and thin. Okay, so I talked about this in the sketch. We're pretty much just doing anatomy, because he's just wearing like a skin-tight suit, so we're basically just drawing muscles is all we're drawing. So I got this arm up, so his shoulders up like this, and there's a bicep up like that, coming down into his pec, like this. I'm gonna go up there, and so now I'm gonna draw his arm kind of in front of you. Let me draw the wrist down to it, and you can see where we are. So basically, here's the wrist to the elbow, like that, and so it's kind of when it's pointing right at you. Oh my god, I can't think of the word. Not foreshadowing, but foreshortened, basically, because it's pointed at you. Here's the other part of the wrist. You come down to the elbow like this, like that. And that'll kind of show you where we are arm-wise. Okay, I've got his hand just up, so I'm going to draw the thumb out like that. And I've already sketched this out, so that's why I can pretty much just draw around and just draw a hand according to the way I sketched it. And that's the plus side of planning, is you could just do something like that and see pretty much I just outlined it and come back with the finer point Sharpie to give it a little bit of fine detail. And I'm just kind of adding extra that, you know, he is kind of a robot, so extra little mech detail into his hand. And plus there's a lot in the costume like that too, but there's only so much we're going to add, because like I was saying before, color would look better if we do it that way. Okay, so we'll say this is his bicep like that. He's super strong. Let's see. Okay. All right, so okay, you know what? So we got to draw this arm, and I was talking about how it's going to get cut off. So understand, some of this is phasing through the wall. So his other bicep or pec actually is like this, and that's going to be in front of everything. And let me just draw his waist to see how it's turned. So here's his rib cage down to his waist, and so that means I can draw his other part of his rib cage like this. So I just want to give you an idea of how he's turned to placement, to get placement ready. Okay, so we're gonna draw his bicep, but this is where we're gonna get cut off, and it's gonna disappear into the wall. So the bottom part would come into here, and then this is where it's phasing, like that. Okay, and so the other part, his elbow's gonna be here. The other part's gonna pick back up and come out of the wall right there, into the arm, into the gauntlet on his wrist. And draw his wrist like that. So you see what I'm saying? The elbow is going through the wall. Okay, so his hand is kind of at you like this. So the thumb's going to be a little foreshortened. So I'm going to draw it like that. I'm going to draw his hands, or his fingers, like this. This one's a little behind, like that. And again, I've already sketched this out, so that's why I can just pretty much just draw the lines and not worry about whether it's sized correctly, because I've already sized it in the sketch. Okay, so something like that, like we did before. We're going to come back with this finer Sharpie, add some detail. Let's see, what did we do over there? We kind of did one of these, some of that. That'll help me define the way of the thumb, the way it looks too. That's kind of the nice thing too, is I get to, by using curves, I get to also define the shape of the hand, right? I should use 2 there. Let's make it uniform, okay? All right, so again, we're gonna draw that gauntlet kind of like this. Again, there's more tech in there, but I'm not gonna do it. I'm just gonna let color do that. Go ahead and clean that up a little bit. All right, so I'm going to draw, again, like I talked before, it's pretty much anatomy. So we're going to draw, we're going to do the same thing on this leg here. Let's do it. Let's come down here to his waist. That's where his leg is going to be bent over like this. But again, I'm going to phase it through the wall. So it's cut off right there. And let's see, his crotch is going to be about right here. Cut off like that. So I've got some stress on his pants. I know it's kind of weird right now. Let me kind of show that his leg is bent, and even though this is like a mech costume, it still gets stressed from where there's bends in the material. So that's kind of what I'm showing there. All right. Okay, so same thing, it's cut off, and here we're kind of making it up. So we're going to imagine the knees right there, and then his calf is poking out. So we'll go ahead and just do this. And then remember, it's not 100% accurate, but this is us. We're the creators. We're the dream makers, so we get to do whatever we want. So we're going to imagine it's coming down here. We're going to go ahead and say that it's coming back through like that. And there's his foot into your shoe. That. There we go. So see, it's just kind of phasing through the wall. So that means now we can finish the rest of it over here. So I'm going to draw his little booty like that into his leg. And his leg just sticking out like this. And there's his knee, calf, boot, and his ankle. Let's do the other side, then we'll do the foot. So there's his inner thigh, to the knee, and the calf, the ankle. Okay, and his foot's pretty much just pointed down, so I'm just gonna point it down. So you're looking at the top view, basically what we're looking at. There's the side, this is the top view. Okay, kind of like that. And now we'll add some just a little bit of detail. Like I was talking about before, it's pretty much color that's going to make it stand out. So I'm not going to get too crazy because I want that color to do it. Okay, we'll give him a knee just to define a little bit of anatomy. We'll go ahead and stretch this out a little bit too. Again, that's where his material is bent a little bit. Let's see, again, there's not much I can do here. Maybe just to show a little bit of detail there. Again, we're not doing anything there. That's going to be all color. I think it would look better if we leave it alone to do it as color. So let's just do the cape. So for the cape, I got it kind of billowing. It's flowing back this way. We're going to continue it there now that I can define that edge. And I've got it like flowing like a flag. So here's the edge. That, and I'm going to build off of this. So here's the back of it. Like that. Gonna have it. Oops. Didn't quite come to a point. Well, that's a little dirty. That's okay. There we go. Flowing back this way. There's this end, which is kind of flowing back like that. We'll say it's going that way. I wanted it this way. That way it's already phased through the wall, you know? Okay, I'm going to add just a little bit of highlight. That came out a little messy, but that's okay. We can live with these, you know? We can live with what we did. I'm just going to add just a little bit of highlight just to kind of show the billowing of the cape. Something like that. And there we go. So there, I say we take care of the rest with color and make it super magical. So that is Vision. So here's my colored version. You can color it however you like. I just thought I'd show you how I decided to color it. If you'd like to color it like this, you can always pause the video here and use the coloring techniques that I used, or you can just make it your own. Remember, this is how I draw. You draw how you draw, and we'll meet somewhere in between. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe for more adventures with how I draw. Plus, don't forget to hit that notification button for new videos.